To call up on stage our beloved chairman, Mr. Parthasarathy.
Good afternoon, or rather, good morning. Morning. The original plan was to sort of do a special session on entrepreneurship, but considering that a lot of what should have been covered was widely spoken about last 2 days, and I don't want to repeat. I want to speak a little bit about what I believe is going to be our direction, what I believe are the opportunities, and what I think I would do if I were in your situation. And of course, I'm here to take a lot of questions. I will split this into two parts. One is business, and the other one is about each one of you individual self. In the last few months, when I personally reached out to some of you, and also in the last few days, many of you came and asked questions like, how do you handle it when you're feeling down? How do you handle it when you feel that you don't have enough money, and so on and so forth. I will try and share with you how I do it. So first of all, let me establish this. I'm just like each and every one of you. I don't come from a business family. I am the first entrepreneur in the whole of my family, right? So my family is full of lawyers and accountants and all of that. I'm perhaps the first engineer and definitely the first entrepreneur. So I never had any formal training to be an entrepreneur. And I always say I am an entrepreneur who never wanted to be one. Right? When I came out of BITS, my goal was, I was thinking I will take up a job, 2,500 rupees was a good salary, get married, settle down. But somewhere inside me was this burning desire that I should be the number one something. So I was 22, 23. Back when I was in BITS, BITS had a beautiful system. You can have zero attendance. You don't have to attend classes. As long as you write your exams and you pass, you get your grades, you're fine. So I've done 3 or 4 courses where I don't even know who my instructor was. But what I did was I sort of mingled with the studious fellows, right? The people who are wanting to get good marks. I made great friends with them, and they would teach me on day before the exam. So my first entrepreneurship started with that survival technique. Okay, how to do maximum results with minimum effort, right? And let without going to class. Okay, I will not recommend this to all of you, but that's where it started. But then, what was I doing if I am not going to class? So I go sit in the library and start reading. And there were 2 magazines at that time which sort of impressed me a lot. One was Time magazine from the US, and the other one was Fortune, which is a business magazine. And they used to come, I think, every 2 weeks or something like that. And I was very fascinated. I used to go Monday morning, first thing, 8 o'clock, everybody's going to college. I will go to the library. I'll wait for the library to open. I'll be the first one to pick up the magazine and read. That sowed the seeds for being world class, because I was reading about exceptional companies, exceptional leaders. And I remember there was a time when Steve Jobs was just about creating Apple, right? And then the first Mac, which was with the color monitor, came, and so on and so forth. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because I'm not trained to be an entrepreneur. I only consider myself reasonably successful. I sometimes feel I could have done much more. And again, I am a standing example of what you can do if you know what you want to do. Okay? So the first thing that I want to tell each and every one of you is be clear as to why you are doing what you're doing, right? And again, in my, if I have to speak from my experience, at the age of 23, when everyone was going out looking for a job, and then in those days it was almost automatic that people from an IIT or BITS will go to the US. And I have a very similar story. I nearly went. In the last minute, I changed my mind and I decided to stay back. To create something or to think that you want to be the best in the world in something, right? At the age of 23 is very easy, right? Because you don't know much. You just have a dream. And it's just that I dream big. So, but I was very clear, I will not get distracted. I will not get distracted by my friend is working in some other company, or my friend is driving a BMW, or somebody else is going to the US. None of that bothered. None of that bothered me, right? So the first message I want to give to you, and a lot of you are just joining the network now, is first of all, you know why you are an entrepreneur. You should know. Because when you are down, and when the chips are down, your dreams should be bigger than your doubts. Okay, please make a note of this. It is very important. I am also very much like you. Sometimes I feel somewhat down personally. Something doesn't go the way it's supposed to go. And if those of you who watch cricket, you know how Dhoni behaves, right? Nothing bothers. He looks beyond what is the problem, right? So I think your dreams have to be bigger than your doubts. And if you ask sports people, that's what they will tell you. And Rubina Francis spoke a lot about how she motivates herself, because she says, Desh ke liye karna, right? So that's very important. Secondly, I don't know how, but it so happened that my purpose was beyond my self-interest. I've never worked for myself in the last 40 years. It's always customer first. Now it's a little bit more than that, it's country first. Wherever I go, whenever I speak, I ask myself, am I doing my country proud? Am I doing something which is not bringing disrepute to my country? Right? When you deliver training, are you doing something which says, hey, this company from India is good? Right? That's very important. When you have a purpose beyond yourself, the best of your soul will come out, because you have no obligation to yourself. The only obligation to yourself is that you do your best, right? So in this journey of the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever Ritik is saying, and when he said, how many of you are going to be there for 40 years, I raised my hand. Shibu marked at me and said, sir, don't you know max? 62 plus 40 is 102. Who knows? Like this 87-year-old man, I may turn out 40 years later. And I do gym and all that. Fine. So, I want to live life the fullest. I want to live life working on my dreams. And my dream is to make sure that these organizations that I am involved in become much, much bigger than what they are today. And we leave it to the nation. We leave it to everybody in the society. And the benefit of all this effort goes to the next generation and thereafter. So, and I want to congratulate Mr. and Mrs. John, right? The whole family is in the business, right? John, can you stand up and maybe... the most famous family in business in Mumbai is Ambani. So they are the CADD Centre Ambanis of Mumbai. Special congratulations. Joji, നിങ്ങളുടെ മക്കളും വരണം കേട്ടോ ബിസിനസ്സിൽ. നിങ്ങളുടെ മക്കളും ബിസിനസ്സിലേക്ക് വരണം കേട്ടോ. Okay, thank you. Please sit down. I really respect the contribution you're making. I really respect the commitment you're showing. And it's not just to the brand. I think you're doing it for the society at large. And the confidence with which he says, I will price it high because I know the value of what I'm doing. And of course, Andheri is a reasonably prosperous place, but I'm sure he will do the same even if he's in another place. So special congratulations to you. I see it's a great example of how a full family can get involved in a business and create goodness for the people around us, and in the process also create a good time and wealth for yourself, right? So this is the opportunity for each and every one of you to say that I will involve as many people as possible to achieve this goal of making India great and making India the design and the innovation capital of the world. Okay? So having said that, let me just quickly come to some parts of the business. The first thing we spoke about, I think we all spoke about opportunities. I'm so happy that in the last 2 days when we met, nobody spoke about this word called competition. Right? And it gives me so much of optimism because normally the first thing that somebody would come and ask me is, sir, I have a competitor. I don't know how to compete. Okay? I'll give you something which you should etch in your mind every time you believe that you're competing. Okay? Never compete. Always differentiate. Okay? Please make a note of it. Never compete, because when you start competing, you are playing into the hands of your competitor. The competitor is controlling you, and you're allowing the customer to talk the words of your competitor to you, and he is driving the conversation towards the competitor. Okay? Whenever you believe that you have the pressure of competition, ask yourself, what are my strengths? Okay? So I'll do a little session. Okay? Rajan, can you stand up? Can you give the mic to Rajan? Rajan, can you think that you are a competitor of CADD Centre? Okay? You're not CADD Centre. Okay? Although you're wearing CADD Centre shirt. But let's assume that you're competing with CADD Centre. Okay, who is your competitor in Trivandrum? See, he doesn't even know.
No, I can't say like they are the competitor. Always I say like no, we are better than them. So I never think about the competitor.
Okay, let's assume that there is a competitor.
Okay.
Okay, how would you feel competing with CADD Centre?
I think it's a tough.
Why? Why do you think it's difficult to compete with CADD Centre? If you're a competitor, what are the things that you will fear about CADD Centre? Oh my God, I cannot do this. What are the 5 points where you say, no, I cannot beat CADD Centre in this?
See, one is I say like strongly our core technical strength, where like it will be difficult for the local players. I will not say competitor, local players like they cannot easily copy and paste.
Yeah, Gopi, I'm coming to you next, so just prepare it.
So the local players cannot copy and paste whatever we do. Okay, so it's very difficult for them to copy and paste. So obviously, like it is very difficult. And another one is the number of the strength, the network partners which we have. So I'm sure, like that is not possible for the local place.
Okay.
Many times, like they talk
So
about.
so one is technically competent. What else?
Our network.
Network strength. What else?
Like the changes which we adopt frequently. The last 25, 27 years, like lot of different changes we made. So that is making us to like not to go to the next level.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Rajan. Give him a big round of applause. Go be next.
We are future focused. No other competitors have that, and all over India, pan India, we have centers. Then, up to date, we are launching new products. That is one thing, and important is focusing on each and every segment. That's the main thing.
Okay, good. Thank you. You see, nobody said placements, right? So I'm not diluting the importance of placements, but this is what competitors do. I give you assured placement, 100% placement. We don't do. There is no assurance in life. Nobody assures anything in life. Okay. So I think there are many things you can talk about, especially the fact that we are a multi-brand company. So one of the things that I foresee happening, and I'm giving you an advanced notification now, is that there will be more demand for courses which are interdisciplinary. So we are only talking about a mechanical or a civil or a specific role in an industry. So when we become more and more role-based, you will see part of the synergy courses coming into CADD Centre, part of the CADD Centre programs going into other brands and so on and so forth. We are experimenting, creating that, and we will launch that towards the start of next year. Because interdisciplinary knowledge, skills, competence become very important when you go and look for a job. So if you should say that I can do design, I can do analysis, I can also do essential basic project management, that becomes a big plus, because project management is very, very important for you to do well in an interview and get a job. So multi-brand interdisciplinary courses are important. The second thing that I want to tell each and every one of you is that you will see that we are giving reasonably equal importance to all the brands, right? So this year we have spent a lot of money and time, invested a lot of money and time in building the Dream Zone brand. Everybody saw the new Dream Zone dossier? You have it with you? Can you just show around? Okay, so we are going to have more courses in Synergy. We want to build Synergy as an independent brand, and most of you have taken up Synergy as an additional brand. I would say all live centers, please consider doing that. It's a minimal investment, but it's really worth the effort. So one of the ways by which you can grow, have a look, but don't take it away. We have only limited copies now because it's just under draft print. Okay, so one of the ways by which you can grow as an entrepreneur is by doing multiple brands. I want to ask you one thing. Tell me which other training company has got such a strong corporate office. Now, you know all the people in corporate office. It's not just me or Ritvik or just Shibu. Look at the number of people that you can go to for help, right? Starting with the accounts, finance, then you have the corporate support, then you have the brand heads, then you have so many of them. For everything, there is someone assigned to. I can't think of any other brand which has made such a high level of investment to take care of your needs. So you're not just speaking to one or two people. Your business is driven and led by an army of competent professionals. Okay? When you feel a little down or when you feel that you're under a pressure of competition, think of that. You can even use that in your counseling. Do you know how big our corporate team is? Right? So this is very important. The next thing that I want to tell you, speakers talked about the importance of sales. Speakers talked about techniques, Anaconda, Fox, etc., etc. Great stories. Every entrepreneur is first a salesman. Please remember that. Each and every one of you are responsible for bringing in revenue, right? Unless you are an accountant or a teacher, in that case, you need to have someone who takes responsibility for bringing revenue. Now, you are in business because you want revenue, right? It's important. Serving the nation is fine, but for you to continue to serve the nation, you need revenue, right? There's no point buying a car and saying, I don't have money to fill in petrol, right? Revenue is the petrol of your business. So pay attention to this, right? And our managers and our brand heads will be with you all the time to make sure that they're driving revenue, right? For you, not only with you, but also with your customers. Okay? Never dilute the importance of revenue. Now, to generate revenue, there are multiple things that you need to look at, but two very important levers that I would want you to look at. One is how satisfied are your customers? Because, like the gentleman mentioned, good customers will give you great reference. Okay? And how happy are the customers? Okay. What are the difference between a happy customer and a satisfied customer? Satisfaction is when you get what you want. I expected this, I got this, I'm satisfied. Happiness depends on how you're made to feel, how the instructor treats you, how the counselor treats you. If I'm running a center, I will make sure that I speak to each and every one of my students. I'll go and say, I'm the owner of the center. Are you happy? Is there anything else I can do to meet your goals? What do you like about my center? Where do you think I should improve? Please take sincere, honest feedback from your customers. They will teach you. They will teach you what you're good at. They will teach you what you're not good at. And each center, each location is different from another one, right? Then you must be doing something very good, which your customers like, which you don't know. And unless you ask, you will not know. So I know most of you do it, but please speak to each and every one of your students. Do not think, okay, he's just a student, he's paying money, I'm doing my job. That's not the way you build customer endearment. Okay, so I think the Salem Center spoke about techno-commercial staff. Again, a great strategy. I think I'll tell you a story. Ravi spoke about Macon Ranchi, right? So when I went to Macon to do the deal, to do the final negotiation, I was there. Then I had a gentleman called Madan who was exceptional in AutoCAD. I mean, he would do magic. So we were in the negotiation and the well manager asked a question, a technical question, and I started answering. He said, you don't talk, you're a sales guy, let the technical guy talk. all over the world, technical guys are respected more than sales guys. Because salespeople are sometimes known to be exaggerating, right? Whereas technical people don't exaggerate, or maybe they understate. Use that to good effect, right? Ask your instructors, your teachers to do counseling, little bit, right? Or after the counseling is done, introduce your instructor to the prospect. Maybe they will get convinced. So that's a valid point. The other important thing I want to mention, and I think we spoke about it at great length, is going beyond colleges, right? I think clearly the market size of the corporates, the working professionals is 10x more than the student market. And as you know, the student market is coming down, the desire to learn is coming down, and so on and so forth. As the quality of our courses get better and better, and as we raise the bar, our courses will have more relevance to working professionals and not so much to students. A student might say, okay, why should I learn this? I just need a job. So you need to shift the pendulum, you need to shift the attention from colleges. Believe me, when you start doing well with corporates, students will come automatically. Right? I spoke about creating a compelling reason for students to come, not really be going after students. Okay? So our biggest focus and all our metrics and all our activities will be towards that. And I'll tell you something that you can do, right? Even in a small place like Tanjavur, Senthil, where are you? Yeah. So in a place like Tanjavur, what you should do is you should go, there will be a local association of small and medium enterprises, right? Or you will have a local setup for startups. Or you could have, in bigger cities, you will have a management association. For example, Coimbatore has a management association, right? Talk to them. I remember that when in 25 years ago, when we set up the Ambattur Center, we set up the center inside AIMA, which is the Ambattur Industrial Manufacturing Estate, right? Our center was inside that for a long time because it became easy for the members to come and take courses. So, Mysore, I'm sure that has got a huge potential, and same is the case with Bangalore, right? You go to Tumkur, etc. Work with those companies. It's a long haul. It will not get you immediate results, but put somebody on the job to do this, and maybe you can do this, right? You should go after each and every one of these companies. So Ravi from SolidWorks spoke about the number of licenses, right? 250,000 licenses, something, or 250,000 people, trained people required every year. Multiply that into 1 lakh per, right? That's the kind of business that we are sitting on. Okay? Very, very important. And not saying this only for CADD Centre, same is the case for Livewire, Dream Zone, all of that. And Dream Zone especially, we just don't do enough work with employers at all, right? It's all students. Sometimes we say it's only housewives, right? We create our own limitations, right? Don't do that. Okay, another very important point, leverage your alumni network, right? If you've been in the system for 10 years, I'm sure a lot of your students must be in very high positions. Some of you spoke about it in great detail. You saw, again, Ravi Kumar saying that he is an alumni. Ravi was an employee, but before that he was a student. He learned in CADD Centre, he joined CADD Centre, and you look at how far he has gone, and look at how proud he is of the fact that he comes from CADD Centre. So these are things none of our competitors can do. And these are the ways by which you can differentiate yourself. Right? So the moment you feel pressure of competition or price, think differently. Switch your mind and say, okay, let me look at what my strengths are and let me see how we can leverage it. Okay? So having said that, I want to touch upon a very important point when it comes to how to manage the finances of your organization. So I can tell you that the financial structures and the cost structures of our business has changed dramatically, right? So for example, and it's not just a business, it's the country as a whole. Those of you who are 50 plus will know this. Let's say 25 years ago, if I had to go from Chennai to Delhi, right? I will go by train, stay in a hotel, and come back. I will not be able to fly because flights are prohibitively expensive. Today it's exactly the opposite. It's cheaper to fly in the morning, finish my work, and come back. Okay? That was the age when we were spending money, spending time to save money. Today, we spend money to save time. Okay? Keep that in mind. Our biggest resource, our rarest resource is not money, it's time. Because the world is moving. And if you don't move fast enough, you'll be left behind. Okay? So cost structures have changed. Rents, what is the rent today compared to 10 years ago? What is the electricity today compared to 10 years ago? What is the salary today compared to 10 years ago? Right? I'll give you one more example. 25 years ago, the hardware is more expensive than the software license. And those days, many people didn't even buy licenses, right? Today, PCs have become cheaper. Software is more expensive, right? You need to factor this in when you plan your finances, okay? The third thing is about GST, right? GST has completely altered the economics of all businesses. I want CADD Centre to have, and all our branch to have a reputation that we are a legally valid company. We are a company which does business through lawful means. And I strongly encourage you to align with this, because in today's world, even if you are 100% truthful, the onus of proving that you are 100% truthful is with you, not with the government. Right? The government expects you to be truthful and expects you to prove that you are truthful. Now, even if you make a small mistake or even an error in judgment, you will be held liable. Now, believe me, there are so many of the centers which are not with us anymore. They all left because they got into some problem because of GST. Right? And we don't want you to get involved in anything. And I can tell you from my experience, anything that you do which is even slightly away from legality, especially in taxes, you will get into problem because everything is connected now, right? So there is a saying, right? There are only two things permanent in life: debt and taxes, right? So be clear, and I want all of you to sleep well. I think it's very important that you sleep well every night, right? And don't do anything which will take the sleep away from you. You will get a lot of advice saying, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, and all that, right? My advice, do it properly. And we are here to help you to achieve this. And therefore, this wanting to reduce GST and wanting to go to NSDC to reduce GST, all that are extremely short-term measures. I will ask you something. If there is no GST, do you think your business will double? I doubt it. The NASCOM lady said, right, we all pay GST for everything. What should be the problem? So don't live under this illusion that because of GST, your business has come down. It's not true. Even if there is no GST, there's no chance that your business will grow beyond 10%. Now, how much is GST? 18%. You take 2 more registrations, you will count that, right? And you can live in peace. So don't discredit yourself and lower the bar by going down that route. NSDC is meant for the lower state of the society. You should understand that, right? For people who cannot afford, who come from, let's say, villages and all those, and who cannot afford a real course. And that's not our market. That's not our market. We don't compete on price. We compete on value, right? So keep this in mind and take this GST thought away. And I think, Rajan, you raised the question, you got the answer. Therefore, it made my job very easy. Sell value for money. Okay, now coming to the finance part, I think we spoke a lot about how to do finance planning, etc., etc. And if you want more courses, we will help you. We gave you templates. How to create wealth. Okay, in today's context, and especially with the in the Indian economy, with the options available, right? I will tell you 2-3 things from an entrepreneurial standpoint, right? So you create wealth only by investing. You don't create wealth by generating a positive cash flow. Positive cash flow is good for the business, but you cannot get 200% margin because you have to compete. Because there are market forces. If you price your course too high, your volume will come down. If you price your course too low, you won't be able to sustain. So there is a balance between how much margin you can make and how much business you can get, right? And that varies from center to center, place to place, brand to brand, etc. Well, and I'm saying this at your level as an entrepreneur, you would say that, okay, I'm working hard, but how do I secure my financial future, right? Wealth can be created only by investment. This is the truth. And this is the truth everywhere, but in the Indian context, this is very, very important because we're not a mature economy, right? We are still in the early stages of growth. So I think if you want to create what are the investment options? One is, of course, you can go and buy a piece of land, or you can buy some other property, but that requires upfront investment. Second is you can buy gold. I'm sure most of the ladies here would do that. And I think Senthil spoke about SIP. I would say start a SIP in your company name. Okay? Please make a note of this. Start a SIP in the company name. If you have a company name, it could be a proprietorship, whatever. It doesn't have to be in your individual name. That's what I'm saying, right? Start a SIP in your company name. It will keep growing. It can be something as small as 5,000, 10,000 rupees. You can go up to 50,000 lakh, whatever it is. You can split it over time. When you do that, 2-3 things will happen, right? Asenthil also very nicely said, it's like SIP. You should not look at it. It will keep growing, right? When you want to do the next big investment, so for example, you want to move your center to a bigger place, or you want to start another brand, this will come in handy, right? Also, let's say if tomorrow there is some sort of a low in business, you can cash out a part of those things. You're allowed to do SIP as an organization. That's what I want to tell you, right? In your company name, right? Most of you are running a proprietorship or partnership. Please raise your hands. Yeah. So you are allowed to invest as a proprietor or as a partnership company into a SIP. Okay? It doesn't have to be in your personal name. Well, if it's in your personal name, well and good. Because I know what happens. Because a lot of you will not take salary thinking that if I take salary, will I be able to meet my next month expenses? But do the same as if you're paying rent, let it go, right? It's very useful. Please do it. Yeah. And if you're already doing company switch, please raise your hand. Okay, very good. Okay, fine. Do that, and you will feel, even if you don't save any money, let's say you only break even cash wise at the end of the year, you will know that the switch is there and you will feel that you're making progress. Okay? So understand that the cost structures are different. We keep going back to, oh, there was a time when my business was like this, etc. That zaman has gone. That ship has sailed. Right? You need to see the reality of today. Okay? Costs will increase. Please understand, costs will increase. And it's very important that with all the knowledge that you got now, you have to 2x your business. If you 2x your business, next year, you will have a good time. If you don't grow the business, your costs will catch up. Now you have to 2x your business, otherwise we can't meet our costs. If you don't meet our costs, we'll increase the corporate share, okay? Which we don't want to do. So in your own interest, please double your business, only then we can keep our costs low. How much investment would this have cost, this event? Can you take a guess? Take a guess. Totally, all of us, your money, our money put together. Salam. 40 lakhs. It's 1 crore plus. It's 1 crore plus. And your time, all of you have come, right? One of the things I told the team is, I said, we have to be extremely respectful of the fact that you are coming all the way, spending your time and spending your money, right? Because you're leaving your family, you're leaving your business, you're coming here. We have to make sure that every minute of your time is fully used, which is why we had a packed session. Actually, none of you remember this. I also told you 2 weeks ago when I spoke, we'll have games. Right? We have it ready, but we didn't have time for it. Okay? So we were so well prepared to make sure that you have a good time. Right? So understand that it's very, very important that we grow the business. Right? I always say it's either you go up or you go out. In business, you cannot stay in the same place for a long time, right? You could have ups and downs. Okay? Good. So I'll stop here. My business side is over. Then I'll move to the personal side. If you have any questions, I would like to take them. Is it useful? Yeah? Questions, please. Said you're waiting for me to speak, but no questions? No? Shall I move on? Yeah? Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about you as an individual. Okay? First of all, I want you to know that every entrepreneur in this country, I would salute them, including each and every one of you. This Bala was telling me yesterday when we were standing, he said, wow, you're creating so much entrepreneurs. We need more entrepreneurs like this for the good of our country. Right? You see what you're doing great, how South Korea became great, how China became great. They all became great by working together, by cooperating. Right? So when we start doing this together, we actually make India great. And you make your society great. And a big reason for many of you, a big motivation for many of you is the fact that you are respected in the society. Yes? How many of you say that I feel good being running a CADD Centre brand because I get respect? Please raise your hand. See, beautiful. Right? That gives you a lot of satisfaction. That gives you a lot of progress. Right? Business, being a businessman gives you respect. Teaching profession gives you even more respect. Right? So, never, when you feel down, ask yourself, why should you feel down? And when you feel down, think of Robina Francis. Think of Colonel Krishna Swami. Right? We handpicked those two people to address this question. There is no reason for us to feel down. Right? We feel down when we compare ourselves with somebody better than us, not realizing that there are others who are worse than us. Okay? So imagine if you're born with a club foot, like a lady, right? So resilience, as Patrick mentioned, steadfastness, being strong is very, very important. And I'm not saying strong in a very mighty sense. Strength comes when you know what you want. Strength comes when you say, I will not get distracted. Okay. I'll tell you some of the rules that I follow. Okay. Please make a note. And if you ever repeat it, give me credit, okay? These are all mine. First, you will never see my phone ring. It's always on silent. Okay? I don't expect you to follow it, but I'm telling you what I do. Secondly, nobody calls me. Nobody is allowed to call me. The rule is, if you want to speak to me, text, including my family. My wife hates me for it. But they respect. So Ritik, when he was living outside India 15 years, he'll always text me, can I talk to you? Why? It might sound a little heartless, but why? To avoid distractions. When I'm speaking to you, I want to speak to you. I don't want to get distracted. Okay? It has helped me a lot. It is also, 999 out of 1,000 times, it's okay. Once or twice somebody tries to reach out to me urgently, they're not able to. But there is a plan B. Everybody knows in CADD Centre, if you want to reach me, if I'm not available, who else to go and so on and so forth, right? So, by making sure that I don't get distracted and I do not allow others to take my time for granted. So, some of you may wonder, sir, I want to talk to you. When I call, you don't pick up the phone. I say, you don't have to talk to me for your business. I have a huge team here. We have systems and processes, and you don't need to speak to me to solve your problems. I'm a very poor leader if you have to speak to me every time to solve your problem. I'm a very poor leader. No. Those things will get solved. And first of all, we try to prevent problems. We don't want you to have problems, right? Which is why we brought in the ticketing system. Okay, the ticketing system is working well. Yeah. So, first of all, avoid distractions, right? I think Pratik told about me not seeing movies. This is true. I don't even know what movies are coming. I don't even know which actor, etc., because I'm not interested. And people say, don't you need entertainment? To me, business is entertainment. I enjoy it, right? And if I want to do something else, I read, or I go swim, or I go to the gym. If you want to kill me, it is very easy, right? I have a predictable pattern to my life. Okay, I wake up, I do this, I do this. So it's very easy to find somebody to shoot me. Okay, but don't try that. Keeping your daily life simple gives me a lot of peace and happiness. Right? So when I'm in the office, nobody will walk into my room. Nobody. They'll always wait till I usher them in. Nobody will interrupt us. None of us. So I think we are in a meeting, nobody will pick up phones. So you might complain, I called Shibu, he didn't pick up. No, he will not pick up because he's busy. Because we are doing something else. Right? What creates urgency? Tell me, sir, it's urgent. You all have urgent situations? How many of you have urgent situations more than 20% in a month? Please raise your hands. Yoji. Okay. Who else? 20%. What creates urgency? What is the definition of urgent? Tangarajeshwari, what is urgent? Has to be done immediately, right? You have to leave everything and do. Correct? Rashmi, you are saying something? You are not able to plan. You are not able to anticipate. If you are a good entrepreneur, you should learn to anticipate. What can happen? What may happen? What is the worst that can happen? And how can I address it? Okay? Once you avoid urgent things, or once you don't create urgency, you will start working on important things. What is important thing? What is the difference between urgent and important? Urgency is that it has to be done immediately. Must be done. Urgency also must be done. What is the difference?
Important thing is we must be done to accomplish our planning or something which is fruitful results. Urgency is the things we are doing because of a lack of planning or because of lack of anticipation what has to be done.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Rashmi, you want to say something? Difference? Somebody else? Ajay, he is the master of urgency.
So productive and routine.
Very good. Okay, somebody has raised hands. Yeah, Joji.
I would say urgency is about the need to complete as per a time. Let's say someone says by 2:30 do this. So I'll just like to add a point. Usually I deal with corporates, so I wait, and then I'll get a mail, and then I'll have to complete it within a hour or so. So it causes me to keep away my important things and look at that.
Okay, very good.
Because
So
they have to respond.
Thank you, Joji.
Yeah.
So he mentioned a very important point, time. Understand this. Urgency is created by something which was not done before, and it has to be done now. It should have been done before. Right? You wait for the last minute or you miss. Urgency is something which should have been done before, and you didn't do it, now you're doing it. Important is something that you do for the future. Urgency is something you should have done in the past. So the difference is past future. Right? If you considered it important and you had done it properly, it would have been important. Because you did not do the important thing, it became urgent. Right? So, if you want your life to be, see, I'll ask you something. You see how you feel. Anything future related, you will feel nice. Anything you have to do, any problem that you have to solve urgently, how do you feel? What is your emotion? Just need your, what's your emotion if you have to deal with an urgent situation?
Yes, of course, we will be nervous, we will be worried, we will be tensed. And yes, of course, we will try to split, avoid something, skip something, that we feel like we will not make it sure about how the things should come up.
Will it be your best output?
No, not
It
for
will never be
sure.
your best output. Okay? So urgency is a recipe for poor outcome. Right? So a simple thing, you have to reach a place at 10 o'clock, or you have to go to a meeting at 10. You wait till the last minute, you know that there is traffic. You reach 10 minutes late, and then you say, sorry, there was traffic. As if you didn't know there is going to be traffic. Correct? Yes? How many of you felt good that you were on time for the meeting? Did you feel good? Okay? That is the first step towards getting better as an individual. Okay? I've mentioned this story before, but I think it's worth sharing because I'm a big fan of China. So I think we have spoken about this. I'm just fascinated by how China has progressed in the last 30 years and how we have missed the opportunity to progress. But I think we still can improve. So I was in China 10, 15 years ago, and we had a meeting, and I was in a hotel, and somebody would meet me at the lobby at 10 in the morning. So I was staying in the 44th floor, and I had to be at the lobby at 10. The lift I had to wait for the lift. I reached at 2 past 10 when I got to the lobby. There was a young kid, I still remember, name was Mickey, Chinese fellow. Meeting me first time, he said, sir, welcome to China. You're 2 minutes late. This was his opening statement. I didn't not only ruin my name, I ruined the name of my country also. Yes, I took a vow that day. I'll be super careful when it comes to protecting my country's interests. Right? So understand that everything you do, see, you're all leaders. Your own people are watching you. If you say 10 o'clock and you come to a meeting at 10 past 10, why would your instructor start the classes on time? Yes? You won't do it. So what example are you setting? Right? So the first thing that I want you to, if you take nothing away at the personal level when you step out of this room, the number one thing that you must learn is discipline. Okay? Discipline is how you handle yourself, right? How you resist temptations, how you decide what you want to do, and then you get to do what you want to do, right? If I have to wake up at 5 o'clock, you can always do it. I mean, if you have a flight at 6 o'clock, you wake up at 4 o'clock and go, right? Or 3 o'clock. You do that. But sometimes you become lazy, and then what does indiscipline do to your mind? It lowers your standard. Your thought processes become lower. Your quality of ideas become lower. Your self-esteem comes down. Right? And all that will start affecting your life. Okay? I want every person in this, representing our brand to say, I'm proud of the fact that I'm disciplined. Okay, please note it down. If any of you is interested in How many of you read books? Okay. So I will not make any announcement, but if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about how to get better from a practical standpoint, come and meet me. I'll suggest some books. Right? These are books that have greatly influenced me. Okay. So what we are trying to do is once you get your discipline in place, you raise your standard. Right? You'll automatically keep raising your standards. Raising your standard is very, very important for you to get ahead in life. How do you define happiness in life? Happiness comes when you're able to progress little by little. Right? Every step is a progress, right? And progress is not just measured by the amount of money you make or amount of bank balance you have, but it's also how you raise your experience, right? So you go to a certain type of restaurant, and then you say that, okay, I'm going to another type of restaurant which is giving me a slightly better experience, and so on. Once you go up, you will also realize that you want to avoid negative experiences. And those negative experiences will protect you or insulate you from negative thoughts. Right? What does meditation do to you? It prevents you from getting negative thoughts. The reason I'm saying this is because you will keep getting negative news. Right? What does the TV do? You say good morning. And it will give you 10 news items which will say that it's a bad morning, correct? Good morning, but it is bad morning. How many of you watch TV regularly? Why do you watch TV? What entertainment? Why do you need entertainment? Why you don't like your job? CADD Centre should be your entertainment. If you like your job, you don't need entertainment. Seriously, I'm telling you. 37 years, that's been my philosophy. I like my job so much, whether it's good or bad, I don't need entertainment. Because it's a distraction. You watch a movie, I'll tell you why I don't watch movies. Up until 10 years ago, all the movie lines had only one story. Did the parents accept for the wedding? Correct? Correct? Yes? Hindi, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam. Did the parents accept for the wedding? Correct? No difference. Why watch this? Eventually they'll accept or they will run away. Correct? Now it's a little different, but a lot of negative scenes, right? A lot of violence. I asked myself, why should I go through this? It's not helping me, it's not helping me goal. Why should I go through this? Might as well sit down and read a book, right? Okay? Try this. It's not required. You don't need entertainment, madam. So you do it with the family? Movies? Okay. You come to my house and you take the TV away, you won't even know. Nobody will realize the TV is gone because nobody watches. We watch some sport or something. I watch news because there are some things which are important with respect to the economy, etc. I watch some business news. I watch the stock market sometimes. Otherwise, no. Absolutely no. Very good. The TV is there for them to make money. It's not for your good. Okay? So raising your standards means that you focus on what you want to achieve, and raising your standard means you get better. World is changing. We all complain, competitor, engineering college admission coming down, all those things. But we also heard so much of opportunities there. The truth is that what we are doing is not useful for them. And we are not good enough. When you say, I'm not able to find instructors, is it that instructors are not born? Or is it that we are not able to find? They are gone. They are there somewhere. We are not able to find. So what should we do? We should get better at finding people. It's the same problem we have. So for example, Ritvik is struggling to find someone who's good in semiconductor design. Okay? 5 years semiconductor design, salary, how much is it, Ritvik? It's going to crores, not lakhs, annual salary. So we interviewed a lady who's 3 years experience or something in teaching, not even design, teaching. From Bangalore, and she said, I'm getting 25 lakhs, I want 30 lakhs, I want a sign-up bonus of 10 lakhs, and I will not move to Chennai. Lady, welcome to the world of semiconductors. Okay, now we are going to introduce courses, right? So you need to see what is it that I can do to get good instructors. Now imagine 1987 when we started CADD Centre. How did we find instructors? CADD Centre was not known, CAD was not known, computers are not known. How did we find instructors? Right? The experienced people here, you all have gone through that, right? So it's a journey. You need to get better. You have to find ways. Okay, but saying that I'm not able to find instructors, what is the next step? Create them. But you need to get better at it, right? So every problem that you face, there is a solution. You need to be resourceful. We can try our level best to help you, right? But there is only so much we can do. We cannot solve your problem. We can give you advice on how you can solve the problem, but the solution has to come from you, right? So when we say upgrade your center, you cannot upgrade your center. It's your center. You have to upgrade. You're an entrepreneur for a reason, right? You want to be on your own. So when you say upgrade, you have to upgrade. You have to find the money. We are willing to assist you. But if you want to run a course of 70, 80,000 rupees, somebody will come in a car, they need to have a parking space or you need to have a valet parking. They come in, they will expect a good ambience. Even a coffee shop has got great ambience these days. They will expect. Now, if you don't do that and you say that I will grow my business, you cannot grow your business. Okay? So, and once at an individual level you raise your standards, this will happen automatically. You heard Salam talk about what are the things he does to make sure that people perceive the center at a very high level. Okay? So, but all that starts with working on yourself. Okay? So, I mean, I can keep talking a lot. It's 12 o'clock. I would like to pause here and ask you if there are any questions. I think I put it on a slide that day. I'll send it to you. I'll tell you immediately what we are going to do. CADD Centre, I think we'll go aggressive on SolidWorks and CATIA promotion, right? So we'll come back to you with all the plans. We are planning to reach out to all the big users that Ravi mentioned, 500 of them, right? We will do that. Same with CATIA. We are working on a fairly long-term plan to reach out to all the big corporates. I told you that this year our goal is to have Boeing, Airbus, and Mercedes-Benz. Boeing is already in. Airbus and Mercedes-Benz we are working on. So let me ask you this question. Take a piece of paper and write down your top 5 companies where you want your students to be employed. And let's fix a goal, a date, and we will work together to make you achieve. This will make you feel very good. You know, when Boeing became our customer, the whole office was floating. All the employees were feeling very good that we got Boeing as a customer, right? Because we did not expect. And it's a great feeling that one of the best companies in the world, because Boeing airline industry works on, Six Sigma at the highest level, right? Quality is very, very important. It has to be absolutely error-free and all that. And for them, at such a high standard, when they find that CADD Centre is valuable, it gives a lot of confidence that we are doing something right. So, can you take a piece of paper, tear it out, put your name, and write down 5 companies where you want your employees to work, and let's say March 31st, and I would like, Nanda, you can, maybe Dina, you can just go around and collect it. We will help you. We will reach out to those companies and we will make sure that our students are working there. Okay, for all brands, including Dream Zone. And in the meanwhile, if there are questions, please feel free to ask.
Sir,
That's all. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
yes, sir. Next 3-year or future plan of CADD Centre. What is our future plan for CADD Centre, or maybe next 3 years?
That's a rhetoric question, not a WhatsApp question. It's hard to say more and more courses to get there, right? And we're going to do that for every brand. A brand like Synergy has got huge potential. We are just doing one. I think the idea is to see how we can get more and more new courses which are relevant, which will be useful to meet this goal of design in India, innovativeness, and formalize it a little bit. Somebody asked, can we display their names in the counseling area? Yes, but we need to have a sort of a formal arrangement before we can use their name. All that is in the plan. See, but everything depends on how well you do now, because we can keep on investing, but if you don't make good use of the existing courses, see, you have invested now. You have invested in SolidWorks, you have invested in CADD. The SolidWorks course material has come out very well. I'm personally involved in some of those things. I sit down and I work with Venkat and team to make sure that we get it right. Embedded, right? Embedded course, we launched. Very few live centers have gone on with this. I want each and every one of you to come on board. We will have a sort of a smaller version of the embedded course for automotive, embedded for corporate. See, I think many people spoke about the opportunities in embedded, right? Embedded is the future, right? So new courses here, new courses in across all the brands. So I think that's what it is.
In morning, I spoke to Ritvik. Now he said we had a plan of opening in centers in Vietnam. Happy to hear that. So, any other plan of opening centers all over the world?
See, let me tell you the way I see it, okay? So in the past, we used to go and open centers, and it was very nice. We used to go to this country, open a center, and so on. I'm saying just opening a center is good enough, but what are we doing with that center is very important. So what I've told Ritvik and Rajendra is, you identify 5 or 6 countries, and you make a plan for the country, which means that you say Nigeria, what is my plan for now, for the next 5 years, right? And we're going to work with the governments in those countries. So in all the places where we are going to work at the very topmost level, okay? Because just going there and earning a few $10,000, $20,000 is not worth our time. It's got to be in millions, right? So it will be slow, but it will be steady. That's our plan. And if any of you want to open a center outside India, please put your hand up. Yes, Gopi. We'll make it happen.
Thank you, sir.
So I also encourage all of you to look at the other brands. You do not have to think or feel that one brand is better than the other. Each brand has got its own market, it's got its own growth potential, it's got its own mechanisms to generate cash flow, right? So, like, I think Gopi mentioned, he is doing all the brands. He has got a team to drive each of those. He's doing multiple locations, and that's the way to grow, because your costs will get a portion across a wider range of revenue, right? With just one center, you're taking a risk, right? The risk is you will survive, but you will not grow fast. You will not make good use of the opportunity, right? And how many of you are aggressive risk takers? Please raise your hand. Full racing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who said? Okay. Good. How many of you are moderate risk takers? Only one. So the rest. How many of you are afraid of risk? You can be honest. They are part of your team. Okay. Any center owners who is afraid of risk? Okay. Entrepreneurship is risk. For that matter, life is risk. Right? There's nothing in life which is not risky. You don't know whether you'll wake up tomorrow morning, correct? If you decide not to take risk, you're deciding not to live life. Okay? So we had this interesting town hall where I asked people this question: how many of you think that CADD Centre is okay? Let me ask you this question: what is your rating of CADD Centre management? Are we taking risks, or are we not taking risks? Are we taking aggressive risks? Are we taking moderate risks? Or are we not taking risks at all? Sujit, you're smiling. Please give me your answer. You're taking aggressive risks? Thank you very much. Sujit? I'm taking risks. Okay. Gopi? Any of the new partners? Anil? You don't have to be polite. You can be honest. You're taking moderate risk. Okay. Joji? Very good. Yeah. What do you understand as risk? Yeah. Can you give the 1 minute? Hang on. Okay. Sriram is telling me to stop. Okay.
Yeah, so everyone knows risk as threats. 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 Threat.
Okay.
Threat. Usually people think of, what may go wrong. But risk is an opportunity, right? And I believe you are also referring to that, no? Risk as an opportunity, or?
I'll explain. Okay. But tell me what's your question.
Yeah. So, about risk, from the annual meet itself, it shows there are a lot of opportunities. So in that way, corporate office is trying to be aggressive, but maybe there are some more areas where it has to go, in terms of operations and all, we should be more aggressive also.
Okay, very good. Thanks. So in the interest of time, I will explain to you how you should condition your mind. Okay? What is risk? Right? The risk consists of two parts. One is the outcome. Right? It can be a good outcome or a bad outcome. Right? So I say I invest in SolidWorks. I do it for 3 years. Will I get a good outcome or will I get a bad outcome? Okay? I cannot not invest because I'm going after an opportunity. Okay? The second part of risk is probability. Okay? So, for example, when you cross the road, what is the outcome? You will cross the road, which is a positive outcome. What is the negative outcome? You can get hit by a bus. Both are possible, right? Yes? But do you fear and not cross the road? You cross the road. What do? Okay. So the probability of a negative outcome you prevent by taking care. Okay, remember this example very clearly. Whenever you feel you are taking a risk, you should break it down. What is the positive outcome? What is the negative outcome? What is the probability of a negative outcome? And you prepare for it. Okay? Sometimes you fear thinking too much about the negative outcome, not realizing that the probability is very low. Now, the benefit of working with a company like us, a brand like us, is that we do not say the negative outcome is eliminated, but the probability of a negative outcome is very low simply because we are there with you. Correct? So, when we ask you to do a new course, at best what will happen? Your break-even will extend by another 3 or 4 months. Correct? As long as you work with us. Okay? So, we are not risk averse, but we are risk aware. Think of risk as outcome and probability. Right? Your mind fears when you make an improper assessment or an over exaggerated assessment of the probability. Right? And the way to address that fear is by saying, what is the probability of this happening? Very little. I'll manage it. Okay? Just like how you cross the road. Okay? So, entrepreneurship is about risk. Entrepreneurship is about going after opportunities, covering the risk. Right? You are the opportunities, and we are here to manage your risks. Okay? Thank you very much.